Hello, everybody, and welcome. It's me, the guy that didn't get the job at the Tony Awards, here to welcome you to the second annual Mergies. What is it? Who cares? Here's Chase.
It's me, it's that C-H-A-S-E, and I'm excited to be here with the Mergies.
Dang, did you just come up with that right now?
Yeah, dude, that was off the top of my head.
Maybe you should have been on the Tonys. You could have done the Hamilton thing. Would have been great.
And I'm not throwing away my shot
in
the dark.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, we're off to a good start,
Guys,
man.
we are going to put out a full Hamilton parody album that's all Survivor themed.
What would it be?
Nothing like being 10 years late to the fad that is. No, Hamilton's bigger than a fad. What am I talking about?
Yeah, dude, Hamilton's forever.
Hamilton's forever.
Hamilton was big in 1776. It was big in 2015, and it's big now.
Can you imagine, like, having a disagreement with somebody and being like, I can think of only one way to handle this. And it's with a duel.
I thought you were about to be like, imagine that you don't like a guy, and then, like, 200 years later, someone makes a musical about it, and it's like a smash success that revitalizes the medium of theater.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey,
imagine
man, I can only
killing
dream.
Someone's son and then killing them, too.
Well, I don't have to imagine that.
Oh, whoa. You good, bro?
Anyway, welcome to the Mergies. Guys, this is actually the draft recap episode. We're going to be recapping the draft from season 48, where, you know, someone, I'm not going to say who, famously won the draft this season. It was their first time winning. It was someone else's second time winning. We don't have to get into that. But before we get into the draft and we start recapping all of the dumb or great decisions that we made 2 weeks into the season 48, we got to go over who won the Mergy Awards.
Wow.
Let's just go through the first award, the Gone Too Soon Award. Which Survivor 48 player didn't make the merge and we thought was gone too soon? We had 874 votes.
That's
and
like 8 times as much as last year, right? Like last year, you only got like 100-something votes on these things. This is great.
If you remember last week when I was like, let's try to get 300 votes.
Look at us.
Look at us. And it's all because Bran's here.
Oh, well, thanks.
It was all because of you, man.
It's all because people thought that, like, if Bran's confused about the awards, maybe it's okay that I am too. And they voted.
Yeah. Yeah, no one else was confused, just you.
Oh, okay.
Guys, with a landslide win,
yeah,
the Gone Too Soon Award goes to Thomas.
Yeah. You remember who you brought?
Who I nominated?
Yeah.
I believe I nominated Thomas.
Dang it.
Yeah. Do you not remember who you nominated? No, actually, I think I nominated Justin Pizza.
I nominated Kevin, if my notes are correct. Apparently I voted for Thomas. What the heck?
I thought PD nominated Kevin.
I
think you nominated Thomas.
Okay, maybe what happened, I wrote down Kevin, and then Thomas was still around, and I threw him in there.
Nice.
Man, I have a great memory.
Yeah, I don't have a great memory as well, which is why usually PD is like kind of needing to lead the charge on these.
Why the heck is PD not here?
I don't know. He never gives a reason when he can't make it.
Yeah, but it's fine.
But none of us want to argue about it.
He does enough work to make it to where it's like, whatever.
Yeah,
Jonathan, on the other hand, what is he doing? Just watching a Stephen Curtis Chapman video over?
Yeah, roast Jonathan.
All right,
hey, man, you announce the next award, dude.
Okay, I can do this, okay? The Big Mistake Award. The nominees, if you remember, we had Star giving Eva her idol. We had Chrissy talking at Tribal. We had Cedric keeping Say over Justin, which was a longer version of what I wanted, which was just Cedric.
Yep.
And Camilla telling Kyle that she would not take him to the final 3. The winner with 1,300 votes.
Wow, dude. Wow.
Oh, my gosh. I'm just seeing this for the first time. Cedric keeping Say over Justin. What?
You won.
Am I 2 for 2?
I think you are, man.
My
It shows just how much you had your pulse on the season, man.
You know what? I'm
You speak
choosing
for
to
the people.
believe that's people voting for me just bringing Cedric. And it's like, hey, we got what Bran wanted here.
100%.
How about that? 40% of the votes.
Yeah, it was a hefty win, dude.
I'm
In
kind of
second place
surprised
was
that Camilla only got 20. Camilla telling Kyle only got 20%. I kind of, in my mind, that's a bigger deal. But
I agree, which is why I nominated it. But actually, the second place was Star giving Eva her idol, which also makes sense. That was a crazy move in hindsight.
It was a crazy
But,
move.
man, the big mistake award, that was awesome. The next award, the Baby Comeback Award. These
Baby
are
Comeback.
the... You can blame it all on Jeff. This is who we would want to see play Survivor again, and the people that are actually coming back for season 50, you're not allowed to nominate them.
No, the three of them. The three of them. We're fine.
The nominees were Star, Thomas, Cedric, and Mary. And the winner, in a poll that had 648 votes, Thomas, winning another award.
Big year for Thomas.
You know what's insane? And this is what me and PD were talking about after we did the nomination show last week. Mitch was only nominated for one award.
Yeah.
And it was the Quote Award.
Yeah.
And then you got someone like Thomas, who is like all over our awards.
And cleaning house.
Shows you how, as long as you're a big character, it doesn't matter when you go home.
I got to be honest. I'm pretty surprised that we're through 3 awards and Mary hasn't won one yet.
Dude, I thought Mary was going to landslide all of them that she was nominated for. Because Mary, in my mind, is the biggest fan favorite of the season.
Now let's talk about Cedric. Only 3% of the vote for this.
So what is 3% of 648?
I'm not good at math, but it's like 2. Cedric and his kids or something.
Hold on, I'm going to actually do the math real quick.
Do the math real quick. Can you imagine if Cedric was one of the 3 they brought back for 50?
If I did my math correct, 19 people voted for Cedric.
Okay, that's not nothing.
That's 19 more than I thought he was going to get.
Yeah, for sure.
Read us our next award, Bran.
All right, this is the Quote of the Season award. We've got saying, and she's running. We've got Camilla's very long quotes about the bus and whatnot. I'm not going to read the whole thing. We got Mitch. We've got to make a move soon. And we've got, what's this doofus's name?
David.
David saying, knock, knock, who's there? And the winner,
Yeah, this is going to be crazy. Go ahead and announce it.
What do we do?
So there is a tie, guys.
Oh, no.
With 863 votes, Camilla and Mitch, their 2 quotes are tied.
How is that possible?
Dude, it's insane that we had a tie out of like 863 votes. Me and PD had to sit down and come up with the rule for this. What do you do? The rule is that me and you, Bran, we get to decide. We're the tiebreaker. We get to decide.
Oh my gosh. You and me?
Here's my pitch. Yeah, here's my pitch for who I think should win it. Mitch shared this post to his story, which means that we got a big influx of Mitch fans. Camilla is on a Fijian island right now. She didn't have a chance to share it and get her fans in there to vote for her. So I think if we take away Mitch's kind of like he shared it to his audience, Camilla would have won. So I say we vote for Camilla. What do you think? All right.
That's good. That's good enough logic for me. I'm taken aback by this guy Miles in the comments who's just real grumpy about the quotes. Anyway, Say commented with a bunch of crying emojis. That makes me happy. But I like it. I say we rock with Camilla. winning because Mitch shared. But we don't want to. I don't know. It's nice that Mitch shared it, right?
Yeah, no, it's very nice that Mitch shared it. But I'm just thinking, like, statistically, he would not have won if he had not shared it.
Yeah.
And Camilla didn't get the opportunity to share it because she's in Fiji playing again.
That's a great point. It's a great point. All right, let's do it. Let's roll with Camilla.
Awesome. Because also, I just don't. I would feel bad if Mitch won something.
He didn't make a move. That's the whole thing here.
All right, our next award, the Villain Award, the villain of the season. Who do you all think was the biggest villain of season 48? We did put a disclaimer in the caption of this one. We have no idea why Bran nominated Camilla for this. We don't think he really understood the assignment.
Do you see, shout out to Ricky. Ricky said Camilla was way closer to a villain than she was a hero. That's for sure. It's all in the eye of the beholder, okay? PD's over there just, kissing the feet of Camilla. That's weird. I shouldn't have said it that way. But just because we're a fan of someone doesn't mean that they aren't also a villain.
That's very true. Very true. And I agree with you. I thought that the Camilla nomination was out there because I don't think many people would have considered her a villain. But she did say very villainous things, like running people over with buses and
did
stuff.
She come in last
place? And
place?
she lied a lot.
Did she come in last place?
No.
So?
Well, nice guys finish last, so she's not a nice guy. Is that what you're saying?
All I'm saying is I tapped into something here, right? I tapped into
100%. 100%.
Haters over there with their asterisks.
You confused me, but with 647 responses, a 69% win. It's Say, baby. Everybody voted for Say.
I wonder what Say thinks about being the villain. I
think she likes it.
You think so? She commented
she
on one and not the other, so
she might have just not seen this one.
Maybe not. I'm not going to make any assumptions.
She probably saw the quote one because Mitch shared it to his Instagram story.
Oh, okay. All right. That's nice of you.
But what I will say is that someone in the comments of this said, use this as a Eva was the real villain button, and 60 people liked it. So she actually got a strong amount of votes, too, and she wasn't even nominated.
Eva was not a villain. Get out of here. Haters.
Yeah, no, I don't think she was a villain. I think she was just kind of a boring player. But, guys, Say with a landslide. Thomas came in second place with 12% of the votes. Camilla with 10%. Charity got less votes than Camilla, which is crazy.
That's right, because one of them was an actual villain. Anyway, making the Merge MVP award, which is the person who is the most valuable player to the podcast, not necessarily to the show itself. We do have Mother Mary herself, who has sent in many clips and is just an overall great time. We got David, who we just had a lot of fun talking about. A lot of fun. And I wrote a song about it. I was having so much fun.
Yeah.
We got Joe. Lots to talk about with Joe, obviously. And then Star Updates was the gift that kept on giving.
Yes.
But ultimately, the winner finally is Mary.
With 70% of the votes. It was a landslide, guys. Mary's the best.
Mary's the best. But Star did come in second place. Star, obviously, another... Star was a slow burn, I think, for a lot of people, including myself. But once you kind of fell in love with Star, it was hard not to cheer for Star.
Yeah, she was a big internet darling. Like the big internet fans over on Twitter really loved Star so much.
Absolutely.
So not super surprised she came in second, but
not surprising that Mary came in first.
Exactly. Our next award, the Funniest Castaway Award, the nominees, Mary once again, Star once again, David once again, and Cedric. Who was the funniest player on the island? Guys, Star with 61% of the votes.
Oh, yeah.
Wins the Mergy. Mary was in a
that?
strong second place with 28% of the votes.
Are plotting.
My enemies are plotting.
I think about that song all the time. All the time.
My favorite comment from any of our award posts was when someone said, "You guys clearly forgot about Mitch's hilarious mailman story."
Yeah, and listen, someone mentioned why is Shaheen not on there. We get it. We had to make room for Cedric. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I mean, he just wasn't that funny. I mean, he was definitely outspoken. He was doing bits, but he didn't make me laugh as like hard as Cedric made me laugh.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, I think like Shaheen is a funny guy, right?
Right.
But like, it's the type of funny that's like, oh, that's funny. You know, like when he did when he did the singing thing, like, oh, that's funny. And then they do the thing behind it with the music, and I'm like, oh, that's good.
Great.
But
it was
like,
great all around.
Cedric, I laughed multiple times. So
100%.
do with that what you will.
Dying laughing.
Yeah. Anyway, the Game Changer Award is up next. These are moments that kind of changed how the game was played and who won and all that good stuff. Up first, Camilla convincing Joe that Shaheen has an idol. It's a big moment. Camilla giving Kyle the layup at Final Tribal, basically interrupting Eva as she's bragging about this move and being like, that's not what happened. Eva telling Joe about her autism, obviously a big moment, which led to an even bigger moment later in the season. And then Mary successfully using her shot in the dark. Oh, what a legendary moment. Love to see it. The winner, this is a pretty close one. No real runaway here. The winner is Camilla convincing Joe about Shaheen having an idol. That big moment. A big moment. And I think this one is the correct choice to me because it's like without this moment, Camilla giving Kyle the layup can't happen.
Kyle wouldn't have won.
You can't have one without the other. And so just a big moment in the game for sure.
100%. I think that was the right choice. A lot of people voted for Camilla helping Kyle at the Final Tribal Council, but just like you said, can't have one without the other. Not a lot of people voted for the Eva confiding in Joe, which I thought was shocking because that's huge.
I think people were just over it. You know, I think people were over the Eva Joe thing. I think if you take a step back and look at it, it's a huge moment. But I understand that it was played up a ton. We saw that moment and the moment and the challenge everywhere forever. And so I get being over it. I do have questions about maybe we should figure out some sort of different way to shorten Shot in the Dark because right now it just says Mary successfully uses her SITD, which sounds not great.
When I was posting that, I realized what it looked like, and I was like, but I can't spell. There's not enough characters.
I don't know how you fix it. I don't know.
So I just had to do Shot in the Dark, SITD, dude, and she used that SITD, brother.
She sure did. It's better than just getting rid of the I, for sure. That would have been unfortunate.
Yeah. Our next award, the Making the Merge Running Bit nominees. Yeah. These are the running bits on our podcast that we got to have fun doing all season long. The nominations: Chrissy is Speaking. And then the songs that we did throughout the season. We had several songs. We had the Big Bro Club. We had the song that Bran made about David and Mary.
Yep.
And I'd give up forever. Nice. Some great songs. Some great songs.
Some not even released unless you're a patron. We don't even get into that.
Some Patreon exclusive songs. The Stone Cold Eva Austin, Autism 316. And then finally, Demon Cedric, the Carolina Reaper himself, coming on the show to scream at all of us from hell. Guys, this was another close one.
Another close one.
But with 37% of the votes, our songs.
Yes.
And that makes sense. You guys did such a great job with the songs this season, man. It was awesome.
It was a fun, thing that just kind of happens, you know?
Yeah,
It's always one of those things where it's tough where someone does one, PD did the first one.
Yeah.
And it's like, if I try to do one, am I like, is it really going to work? And luckily it just seemed to work every time. So
yeah, well, it helped that it was like PD did the first one, and then Jonathan just came out swinging with Big Bro Club right after that. It was game over after that. We had something there. Some of the comments on this one, a lot of people said so hard they were all perfect. Someone said Stone Cold Eva Austin was the best, but damn if those songs weren't good. Carolina Reaper has entered my Survivor vernacular. Y'all are so good at the songs and sound bits. I vote that you make a newer, better opening to the show. This caused a lot of controversy behind the scenes.
What does that mean?
PD and Jonathan were not happy with that comment because they love our theme song.
Got a great theme song.
We do have a great theme song, but I did see where they were coming. We bring a lot of energy. Our show is chaotic, but our theme song very vibey, very lo-fi. So I could see why they would suggest that. I didn't think it was a bad suggestion, but PD almost had an aneurysm.
Well, listen, you can't come out swinging with something like crazy. You can't have Stone Cold right out of the gate. It's too much.
I love Stone Cold, brother. So that was our Making the Mergy Awards. Yes. Congratulations to everyone who won a Mergy Award this season. It's a very prestigious honor.
Yeah.
Now let's get to kind of the main part of what this episode is. This is our draft recap. We're going to be going through the draft that we did at the beginning of the season. So we drafted 2 episodes into season 48, which means that Kevin and what's the other girl's name? Stephanie. It was Stephanie.
Dadgummit. I would have gotten
there. Stephanie and Kevin were already gone when we drafted. So let's just go through these one by one in the order that they were drafted, and let's just talk like, hey, who made a great choice?
Yes.
Who made a big mistake? Big mistake. Do you remember who got the first, who got to pick very first this year?
Was it PD?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why that was like so. I thought you were going to really just like hit it immediately.
No. I had to really think about it. Yeah, it was PD, and PD picked Camilla.
Yep. PD got the first overall draft pick, and Camilla went first.
Yeah. Listen, I'll be the first to admit it. I didn't get the pick at all at the time. Camilla had made such little impact on my brain up to that point that when he picked Camilla out of the gate, I was having a hard time even remembering who Camilla was at the time.
I remember, if you go back and listen, me and Jonathan go, what? We were so shocked that she was the first overall pick. But I remember at the time, like, I had her on my list because I was like, she seems like the kind of player that we'll see more of later on. Like, right now, we're seeing a lot of the people that are going to be going home pre-merge.
Right.
And I mean, that is what ended up happening, but I would have never thought that she was going first overall pick.
No. I didn't see it coming, but you know what? I'm a big man, and I can admit when I'm wrong. It was a great pick. Camilla,
great pick,
basically won the season. I understand Kyle won the season, but that, like, if that win is as much Camilla's.
If Camilla would have won Fire, she would have won the season.
100%.
100%.
I'd be interested to see how it plays out. Those two kind of fighting against each other, because the one thing I'm still not totally sure like how liked Camilla was compared to how liked Kyle was, and vice versa. I can clarify this because what the jury said after the show was, if Camilla was in the final 3, we would have all voted for Camilla. Yeah.
So we do know for certain that if she would have made
how seriously to take that, like the hindsight and like who I would have voted for if this had happened. Like, it's always hard to know, but that seems to be how
because,
I would. Yeah.
Because apparently she was really tight with Shaheen as well. Kyle, Shaheen, she was friends with Mary. Like, she had a lot of friends over on the jury. We just didn't see that part of the game. Who wouldn't want to be your
friend?
Exactly.
Great. She's a bully, but she's great.
She's a villain.
Yeah.
The second pick goes to the Wrights. And they picked Joe.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about this. I don't think anyone was shocked about that pick.
No, this seemed like even early on, this was before the moment happened on the beach with Eva and the whole him coming together with her and that big moment that at that time felt like Joe was at the top of the food chain there. Even before that, it was kind of like Joe's season to lose almost from the get-go.
Yeah.
And part of that is the edit that he got kind of gave him big hero vibes, at least through the last episode. I think the last episode, things kind of fell apart for him a little bit, and there were a couple of little hiccups. The moment with David, where David and him had his little thing about, you went back on your word. No, I didn't. That whole thing. And then the Shaheen moment where
was a big mistake.
Basically treats Shaheen like he's a child.
Yep.
Those are little blips along the way, obviously. And I think that they cost him the game in a sense. But throughout the season, it felt very much like Joe's season to lose.
I agree.
Even going into that finale, even going into the final tribal, it felt like his to lose, and he just put up such a awful
little
final,
fight,
such like one of the worst I've seen. I can't remember a tribal where I felt over 50% confident in who I thought was going to win, and by the end of it, I thought he had a 0% chance. Like just an absolute whiff, and I can't even think of another final tribal that went that way, where it felt like literally watching someone lose the win before our eyes. Now, whether or not that's the reality, maybe some people were going to vote for Kyle regardless. I don't know, but that's what it felt like based off of the edit that he got and kind of how it felt like he was running the game the whole season. I don't know if you disagree or not.
No, I 100% agree. What I will say about it is when the Wrights drafted Joe, first for their team, but second overall, I immediately was just like, you've made a fatal mistake that I've made several times, which is you took the giant threat.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently, this was the one season where all of the giant threats got to stay in the game. So it ended up working out, and, they did better because Joe made it to the final three. I didn't have a single person in the final three. So it worked out better for them. But when it first happened, I was like, that's a huge mistake, dude. The big, strong guy never wins. And he didn't, but he did make it to the final three, which was crazy.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it was definitely an interesting season of the strong person alliance. And it'll be interesting to see, like, we're really not going to get to see the effect that has on the game really until 51. Like, 49 hasn't seen it. 50's its own thing. Like, they're going to play a completely different game based off of previous relationships and so many other different things that we don't really get to see the effect of, one, the strong people alliance and the secret alliance. I think both of those could have an effect on future seasons, but we're not going to get to see it until 51. So,
and I think you're actually like 100% right, because I've been saying 100% a lot this podcast.
Well, I'm really smart, so I get
You are very smart. I mean, we agree on everything. It's not like I'm here with Jonathan.
Oh, thank God. I'm diving in.
But you're absolutely, like, I bet we will get verbal confirmation in 51 where someone goes, we got to be like Joe in the Strong Guys Alliance.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like someone's going to say that out loud. And it's going to be really cool how the game evolves,
Yep.
The next person that got to vote was you, Bran.
Yes.
And your first pick, and I was so jealous. I got so upset when I listened back to it. You can hear me get verbally upset with you when you drafted it. You drafted Shaheen first.
Listen, man, I still think that this was the right pick. Like,
I agree.
Shaheen is a pretty perfect Survivor player.
I thought he was the winner, dude.
He's strong. He's smart. He's great socially. And it just felt like this is a slam dunk, if ever there was a slam dunk in Survivor.
dude, when I had him the top of my list, I was going to take him first as well. I thought he was the winner, dude. And I thought he was the winner well past the merge. Like, it wasn't until everything started happening with Kyle and Camilla where I was like, Shaheen is the obvious winner of this game. I thought that you won the draft, dude. First at bat, this is your first season drafting with us. Your very first pick of the draft. I thought you won the season right there. I was so jealous.
I think I'd still make this pick. You know, I think 10 out of 10 drafts, given the first 2 episodes that we saw and, you know, all the pre-draft media that we took in, I'm picking Shaheen. I
100%.
I would have picked him first, not just first for my team, but if I had the first overall pick, I would have picked Shaheen. So, I think
too.
on a different season, who knows how it plays out for Shaheen, but he's a great Survivor player, and I really like the pick, so I wouldn't take it. I wouldn't do anything differently there.
Yeah, so far, all of these picks, all of these first round picks, I don't think anyone made a big mistake. And then we get to my team. I got to draft. I always notoriously draft last. It's happened every single time.
It's very impressive.
It sucks, man. It really sucks because I do the same thing every season, and it's my biggest flaw. I have to pick last. Mm-hmm. Everyone who I wanted to pick has been taken in the first round. I panic, and because it's a snake draft and I get to pick back to back, I panic and I just pick 2 people at random. And it never works out.
What do you mean at random?
I panic. Like, so I'll give an example. I wanted Shaheen bad. Right. I wanted Shaheen bad. I wanted Camilla bad. Those were my 2 top picks.
Okay.
Then I had some other picks that I were like, well, I would pick these people if I have to, right? Like, in my back of my head, I was like, Mary would be a great first round pick because I can play up the I'm voting, I'm picking Mother Mary. Like, so Camilla's gone, Shaheen's gone. I'm panicking. I have to pick twice in a row.
Right.
And my first pick just got taken.
Got tooken.
Got tooken.
Got tooken real good.
And so I just panic and I go, I'm going to go with the meme pick at that point because we hadn't seen Mary play much. We had just seen her be very, very funny. She was on the losing tribe. They were going home every week. And I just said, for the memes, I'm taking Mary. I drafted Mary first round. I don't regret it because I love Mary. But I really, really wish I would have taken... I mean, Kyle was on the table.
Kyle was on the table.
Eva was on the table. I mean, Mary made it far into the game, but Kyle, I could have taken Kyle.
Yeah. You could have taken Kyle twice.
Yeah.
That's the tough part. I wish I had my initial draft order. I was keeping it updated as people were being taken. I was taking them off the board so I wouldn't forget. Yeah. So I don't have the initial document unless I can go back in time, which I might be able to. But yeah, that's tough. When does Kyle get tooken?
Kyle gets taken in the second round.
Right, by the rights.
By the rights.
Right. So you pick twice, and then they pick Kyle.
Right?
Yeah,
exactly.
No, sorry.
No. So because it was Snake, it went. I picked Mary.
Yeah.
Then I picked Thomas, as we're about to get into. Then it went back to you.
Oh, right.
And then it went to the rights. So Kyle was on the board for you as well. And we'll talk about that when we get to that pick. But, I mean, I got to pick 2 picks in a row, and I did not take Kyle for either of those. Man. I took Mary first, and then let's just jump into the second one. Then I had my next choice, and I took Thomas, which proved to be a fatal mistake for my team.
Yeah, that's tough. That's one of those picks, though, man, like... That's I couldn't have predicted Thomas going home at that point in time. Thomas is a post-merge player.
He is. I really thought if I was going to pick out of everyone left, I was like, Thomas is the winner out of everyone left. I would have never thought Kyle was winning over Thomas.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Sheesh.
So after I took Thomas, we're deep in the second round now. You got to go, and you took Say. which I will admit I thought was a really dumb move on your part.
Yes. So what happened here is I pivoted.
Okay.
When the draft came along, I decided I was going to rock with the cameo pricing. And I went in order of cameo pricing. Yes. Shaheen with the 48 and then Say with the 40.
And neither of those proved to work out in your favor.
No, they did not. No. You know, I don't think that there's a world where Say wins this season.
I don't think so either, but I think the reason I thought that you made a huge mistake is because the original Vula tribe, they were getting picked off one by one.
Yeah.
And the only ones left were Mary, Cedric, Pizza, and Say. And I was like, you do not want to pick too many people on that green tribe.
Nope.
And then you proceeded to pick two people from that green tribe.
I think with Say, I overestimated her redemption arc. I thought that the relationship between Mary and Say, they were going to begin to work together. There was going to be some redemption there. They were going to kind of decide that we're stronger together than we are apart. And we almost get that, right?
Yes, almost.
Like we almost get that. You know, Mary plays her shot in the dark. Cedric votes for Say twice. Decides I'm going to keep her, vote out Pizza as long as you two cut it, right? You remember
Gotta cut it. Oh, I remember.
At the end of that episode, I'm flying high. Like, yes, I lost Pizza, but I knew I was going to lose one of those people regardless.
Right.
And so, to me, I get Say, who I kind of felt like was a stronger competitor.
I agree, yeah.
And she's sticking around because she's agreeing to cut it. She's agreeing.
Yeah. So you thought Cedric
with
you
Mary?
Thought Cedric, Say, and Mary were going to be a threat, like a trio going.
I haven't said anything about Cedric. I don't put words in my mouth. I thought Mary and Say were going to agree to cut it,
right,
and partner together and decide that they're going to take on the game. What we ended up getting after that was we get a tribe swap, right?
Yes.
And Say was never the same.
No.
I don't know what happened. It's as if Mary was Say's muse, and she just didn't know how to play the game without this.
It's like Batman and Joker, dude.
Yeah.
It's not fun without Batman.
It's like,
Joker doesn't want to do it without Batman.
I remember distinctly, like, the episode post-tribal swap, Mary decides she's not going to compete in a challenge because she's just tired or whatever. And I, like, was like...
Say.
Yeah, Say. Sorry. Did I say Mary?
Yeah.
Yeah. Say's not going to compete because she's tired. And I'm, like, trying to rationalize it. So I'm like, everybody at some point in Survivor goes through this low point, and you'll come out. And she's in her low point very clearly. And she just never got out of it, man. She never got out of it.
She couldn't get out of that valley, and that's okay. It happens.
Well,
Say is one of those that I would have liked to see come back and play in the future, because I would like to see her go up against some other, like, actually wanting to cutthroat Survivor players.
Yeah.
So after Bran takes Say, then it goes to the Rights, and the Rights take the winner of Season 48, Kyle.
Hearing it read back stings.
The Rights took Joe and Kyle 1 and 2. It's like they knew.
Did you listen back to the episode?
Yeah.
Do I even flirt with the idea of taking Kyle?
No. No one did. Now, when they say Kyle, we get a few of us going to be like, oh, that's a good pick. But, dude, I did not think he was going to make it that far. Kristen in particular, I'm not trying to clown Jonathan.
Wow.
Kristen is really good at drafting players. Like, she is even if she doesn't win the season, which there's only been one time that she hasn't won the season, other than no, 2 times. 2 times she hasn't won the season. The fact that any other season, picking the 2 strongest guys out there, the 2 big muscle bros, that would not have worked out. Both of them make it to the final 3.
Yeah. I think because I had Kyle in my preseason breakdown, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I think I got scared. I think Kyle scared me with some of the things he talked about, specifically the quote that he says that he's an impulsive player, which he thinks may work against him. I think seeing that and seeing this whole thing, like this quote about if I win, it's going to be a dominant game. I run these scenarios in my head. I don't know if I can hide in a lot of ways. I have to come out and I have to play hard. And then I see that he's impulsive, and I think, I just don't think that he's going to win. And so I think, this is the first time we've done the preseason. Maybe it scared me. Maybe I was scared of some of these things about Kyle. And ultimately, these are the things that kind of
helped him win.
Like he partnered with Camilla, and a lot of the decisions that he was making were impulsive. Hey, we can't make a move. It's almost like this impulsive desire to not turn on his buddies. It's like this very interesting. I think I got scared of Kyle from my own analysis of Kyle.
And that makes sense. And if I remember correctly, I don't remember what it was, but in week 2, in the second episode, I think he did something that turned everyone off on seeing him as a winner. I don't remember what it was, but I remember at one point being like, "Oh, I would draft Kyle," and then he does something in the second week where I was like, "Oh, maybe I don't draft Kyle," but I don't remember what it was.
I mean, ultimately, I just kind of felt better about Shaheen. I felt better about Thomas. I felt better about some of these other guys than I did Kyle for whatever reason, and so clearly I'm wrong, and I have to live with that for the rest of my life.
Hey man,
he was on the table.
He was on the table for me 2 in a row. I could have picked him 2 in a row.
Yeah.
That's why Jeff Probst say this is the greatest social experiment of all time. You never know what's going to happen on Survivor, and you really don't. You can think you know, you don't. Next up, PD takes Eva. Now, PD, he has done this before, and he's doing this strategy again. He does an all-female draft.
Listen, it's not a bad philosophy, especially kind of if you look at the last few seasons. Not a bad philosophy.
Well, this is where I love this statistic. The past 3 or 4 winners have been women.
Yeah.
If a woman won this season as well, if Camilla would have won instead of Kyle, let's say, or Eva would have won instead of Kyle, this would have been the most female winners in a row in Survivor history. It would have been an anomaly, right? And I think that shows how the game has changed. Mm-hmm. But then in the season where all of the big muscle bros controlled the game for the first time in, 5, 6, 7 years, and it's the first season in a long time where a woman doesn't win, it's always a smart pick to do an all-women team, I think. Yep. Because at the end of the day, you're going to get, at the beginning of a Survivor season, you're going to get these big, in-your-face men. Yeah. And they're getting a lot of screen time. And they're doing challenges. That's right. And you kind of want to take them because that's all you're seeing in the first couple weeks. But in the background, there is a woman player, or maybe even just a not as in-your-face man player, who we'll get to see a lot of later, like Camilla. We'll get to see her a lot later, but we're just not seeing her right now.
Right. Yeah, and to that point, you have these, like Camilla's a perfect example, able to kind of play the game, control it in a sense, and then strike when she needs to.
Your cerebral players.
Yeah.
So PD taking Eva in the second round. He took Camilla first round, Eva second round. I thought this was a dumb move. I thought it was a really dumb move because I think Eva has the backstory. It was just like Mitch. I didn't think Mitch was a good pick either, and we'll get to that in a minute, because they have the not a sob story, but they have the story arc of the season. Eva is overcoming her panic attacks on the island because of her autism. Mm-hmm. That player never wins. They usually become some sort of fan favorite or like someone that the audience gets behind. They never win. So Eva, I thought it was a wild pick. All right. But then, because of the snake, Petey gets to pick twice in a row. So right after he takes Eva, he takes Bianca.
Who?
Bianca.
Yeah, I know. It's a bold move.
Bianca. Not a great... Looking at Petey's team at like this, he really didn't do a great draft this season, I don't think. Camilla was an awesome player. It was his best player on his team for sure. Eva made it to the final 3. That is something. But I don't think she ever had a chance of winning. And Bianca went home almost immediately after he drafted her.
Yeah. It's not... I'm not saying it's his fault, but...
Yeah. PD is usually a very strong drafter. This season, I don't know. I don't know if Bianca
it was a weird season for sure.
All right. Then it goes to the rights, and they take Charity.
Yep. It happened.
No, I don't have much to say about that. I think we all knew at this point the people that we were drafting were not our top picks to win.
Right.
But Charity, I thought, was a strong pick at the time. She was a strong player. She had that kind of aggressive personality that, can help you go really far in Survivor. Like a Kinsey. Yeah. When Kinsey won a few seasons ago, the first few episodes, I didn't think Kinsey was going to make it far because she was playing too hard.
Yeah.
And it was getting her in trouble with her tribe. But then, she turned around and won the season. And I thought that Charity was a Kinsey archetype. But
she just never stopped at Charity. She never stopped.
Yep.
Much like Chrissy.
Chrissy, wake up. Then, Bran, you got to pick your third round pick, and you had the choice between you had the choice of taking Justin, who's pizza,
yes,
Mitch, Star, Cedric, or David, and you chose pizza, another player from the original Vula who were getting picked off week by week.
It's not a good pick. My thought process here was I wasn't very high on Mitch at the time. I liked Mitch, but he was so likable that I figured he was going to get taken out.
Exactly.
David, I just thought was so dumb that he wouldn't make it very far.
Yeah. Which you were wrong, but not totally wrong.
I think of everyone on there at the time, I was like, pizza to me is the one that is kind of the biggest, like could be a wild card type pick.
Yeah.
And so, and I figured if I have everybody on that team, someone's going to survive, right?
Yeah. No, 100%. And honestly, like I liked your pizza pick better than your say pick. I thought that pizza had the potential to be a wild card that ends up making it really far in the game somehow.
Listen, sometimes you vote for say twice and pizza goes home, and that's just the way things go.
Sometimes. But yeah, I mean, and we can talk about your draft as a whole in a minute, but you were the first person to lose every player on your team this season.
I know it. I'm still living with that.
Statistically, you had the worst draft. However, if you listen back to our draft episode, at the end of the episode, I start going off about how I think Bran has the best team out of everyone.
You're so kind.
So I was on the same page as you. I felt
good about it.
Yeah, I was on the same page as you. I thought you had a really good team.
Well, and I think a lot of it is I felt really good about Shaheen, too. Like any team 100%. I think was going to look really good with Shaheen on it.
I agree. It was like PD's team. PD's team really wasn't anything great, but he had Camilla.
Right.
So it immediately made his team look way better. After you took Justin, then it goes to me again. I didn't have many options left, and I took Chrissy.
Yep.
I thought she was the older woman archetype. I thought maybe she could make it pretty far. At that point, she was barely. We hadn't heard her speak.
Yeah, that's where the Chrissy is speaking bit came. Yeah. Is that anytime she said a word, it was like such big news.
And then very shortly after they started letting her speak, she spoke too much, and it sent her home. And that was just, that's just how the cards lay, dude.
Don't like if you the moral of the story is if you see the big bro club forming, don't try to speak out against it twice in a row.
Yes.
Do it once, see if anybody's following with you, and then be like, you know what? Let me see if there's another way to get in on this one.
Cut the bait and just try to float at that point. Due to the snake draft, I got to pick twice in a row again. I had the opportunity to take either Mitch or Star or Cedric or David, and I chose Mitch.
Man.
He made it really far.
He was your last player around, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he made it farther than Mary, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, it wasn't a terrible pick. He was my last pick. I didn't really want to pick him. I didn't think he had a chance of winning. He made it really far. He ended up being the reason that the season suffered towards the end. Yeah. And, you know, the game could have been very different if he stepped up and made a move. He could have won, maybe.
You got to make a move.
You got to make a move. But, so, yeah, my Mitch pick, I guess
one move is all you needed to make this season in order to win the game.
That's all you needed. It was one move
and
help from one good ally.
That's right.
So, yeah, I don't know if I regret my Mitch pick because at the end of the day, he made it farther than any of my other players. But, you know, oh well. Goes back to Bran. You got to pick your fourth player, and you chose David.
Yes.
Out of the options that were left, which was Star and Cedric, I think David was a good choice.
Yeah, I picked David because he was the only one of those three that had a cameo. And I wasn't high. I thought there's no way in the world Cedric's going to win this game. And at that point in time,
Star was not seen much.
I didn't like Star at all.
Yeah.
And so David was the pick for me.
Yeah, I think you made a great that's the thing that's so crazy about doing these draft recapped episodes is at the time you had made probably the smartest decisions out of anyone. Except for the fact that you took two people from original Vula.
Right.
You made really, really great decisions. But looking back at it, you had the worst team. And that's so interesting to me. After you took David...
It's a good learning experience. You know, we'll take it back to the tape and we'll kind of see where things went wrong for me and where the kind of wheels fell off. But, you know, I'll go into next season. I'll be bigger and better than ever.
Hey, man, you did pretty good for your first season. Next season, you get another practice before the big one.
Well,
season
listen,
50.
I can't be worse, you know?
That's true. I mean, you could lose all four in a row immediately.
Okay, thank you. Yes. Yes, it is
and
true.
That would be hilarious. I would love that.
But listen, last place is last place, you know?
Yeah, that's true. After you took David, the Wrights got to pick. They had the choice between Star and Cedric. And it baffled all of us that they took Cedric over Star.
Yeah.
Wild pick. And it didn't work out for him. Cedric was gone way before Star.
What's so crazy is going into this season, you and PD we're picking Greenville first, baby. Come hell or
Greenville
high water.
Cedric.
And then we saw the first two episodes and we were like, we're not picking him for anything. You can't make us pick him. So, really, 2 episodes is all it took for us to turn on our own.
Yeah, and she was awesome. She ended up being a huge fan favorite, and which is why PD was very happy that he got to, for his last pick, he got to pick Star.
Yep.
He didn't have a choice. It was all that was left, but he could not believe that he was fortunate enough to get Star over Cedric because he really thought that Cedric was going to be the very last pick. We all did, but the Wrights took Cedric instead of Star. So PD. So I'm just going to go through each team, the total team in full, and we can just kind of look and see who had the best team overall. My full team was Mary, Thomas, Chrissy, and Mitch. I think I probably had the worst players on my team, if that makes sense.
I think that's
Mary. Mary was the best player by far, and she still couldn't quite. It wasn't the season for that, you know?
Yep.
Sadly. PD's team, Camilla, Eva, Bianca, and Star, the all-female team. What do you think about that tribe?
It's not a bad tribe. I think Camilla kind of skews the curve there a little bit.
Yes.
But not a bad draft, I don't think.
I think if instead of Bianca, he had someone like a Mitch or a Shaheen who made it really far,
Yeah.
I think he would have had a phenomenal.
Yeah, Bianca's
overall
kind of
draft.
the odd man out there, or
Yeah,
odd woman out,
yeah.
if you will.
Odd woman out, yeah. The Wrights team, they had Joe, Kyle, Charity, Cedric. I mean, come on. They had 2 out of the 3 final
Yep.
3.
Obviously, Cedric kind of throws a curveball there, but I think it's hard to argue that that's not the best team.
Charity, at the time especially, was a strong choice.
Yeah.
I think that they made a great choice. So, I mean, they showed a lot of great insight by picking Kyle when everyone else was kind of like, really, Kyle? And so, I mean, they deserve the win, you know?
For sure. They deserved it.
And then, yeah. And then Brand's team was Shaheen, Say, Justin, and David. Hilarious enough, David and Shaheen were your 2 strongest
Yeah.
players on your team.
Yeah, and I don't disagree. I think if I don't pick Say and I pick Kyle, this is a different ball game, obviously.
Yeah.
But Say's kind of the pick there that just doesn't make it a really as well-rounded of a team as I...
And Justin, who went home so early,
Yeah.
that's just hard.
But I can't
That's
even
just
get
really
mad
hard.
at the Justin pick. I can't get mad at
because
pizza.
that was an all-time Survivor moment. That had never really happened
Right.
that way before. That was insane. So, I mean, you have a very memorable team. I'll give you that.
Yeah, I can't believe I didn't pick Kyle.
Me too, man. I had Mary and Thomas as my first 2 picks, and I could have picked Kyle for in either of that spot, and it would have been.
Sometimes you try to get cute with it, you know, and just pick the best player on the board, you know.
Yeah, and I thought that Thomas was. That's
Yeah.
what's crazy.
Well, that's true.
So, guys, looking back at our draft from after the season, it definitely hindsight is 2020. But it is very interesting to look at how wrong me and Bran in particular were.
Yes.
But let's hear from the guy who had a great team, but he did not win this season. That's right. PD
Hello,
sent
Bran and
us.
Chase.
Sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean.
Oh,
No.
I was just queuing you up. PD sent us a voice memo. Let's hear it.
Hello, Bran, Chase, and maybe Jonathan.
Nope.
Knock, knock. Not me. Classic. Anyway, just wanted to get on here and say Camilla is definitely one of the greatest players I've ever drafted. It's why I took her first. I had a good feeling. It turned out to be right, even though Bran had her pretty low on his board. Yeah, she's a great player, and we've teased naming our teams. I think I should name my team the Should Have Ones, because Camilla should have won. If she had made the fire, she would have won. Charlie, he should have won. Maria was bitter. And then in season 47, we all know Susmay should have won. She would have beat all their asses. She said it, and it should have happened. The jury just didn't know what was going on that season, okay? The other thing I want to talk about is that I, in the last episode, said that Dee was an outspoken Puerto Rican woman. I was corrected on this. One of our little Mergies, Carly, she let me know Dee is, in fact, Cuban.
Oh,
And you see what...
no.
Racist
What had
PD.
happened here was, at one point, I had seen a picture of Dee at Jam Jam's hair salon in Puerto Rico, and she, I think the caption was just a picture of a Puerto Rican flag, and then I took that to mean that they were both from Puerto Rico. And see, this is a good lesson about not making assumptions. I want to apologize to Dee. And I hope that my praise for Dee over the past few seasons, and like the couple seasons we've done this podcast, I've praised Dee constantly. I hope that makes up for it. You know, I understand that simple-minded jabronis like Chase, they don't really comprehend the game that Dee played. It kind of flew over Chase's head a little bit, and that's why he doesn't understand why she was such a great winner and everything. But yeah, have fun with the rest of the podcast. PD out.
Okay.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
Who's there?
Not me. Good job, guys.
PD texted me. He was like, hey, hope I don't make you go on a rant after my voice memo. Dude,
Don't fall for it, Chase.
PD, I think, truly believes that Dee is like a really awesome winner. And I'm not taking away the fact that she deserved to win her season. She did. She deserved to win that season. she's not the most dominant. Like when he said that she's better than Boston Rob.
Chase, you're falling for it. Don't fall for it.
I'm
What's
taking the bait,
happening
man.
here is only PD can come out and admit that he's a racist, and Chase ends up going on a rant. Don't fall for it. Let PD just sit in his racism, and let that happen. Let that.
You're my counselor. You're my counselor. I'm going to listen to you. I'm just going to say one thing.
Okay.
Dee's win is very similar to if Joe won this season. That's all I'll say. People would have been upset. They would have thought it was boring. They wouldn't think it was that dominant winner. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. I want to close with this. Okay. I don't know if you saw this, but Jeffrey posted a video after, I think it was the first or second day of filming 50. And he talks about how he's excited about it and blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
You've seen a Jeff video before. You know how it is. I understand. We still got 49 to worry about here. But what could really make 50, what needs to happen early on in 50 for it to live up to the hype?
I think we need to see big moves immediately. I know we're going to get what we always kind of get in that first episode, and that's cool with me. I'm not going to complain. I think if this is going to be a legendary season, we need to see somebody like winning a shot in the dark episode 1, first tribal, playing an idol immediately, something crazy. And because that's the thing about what makes a good Survivor season, it's not necessarily about like everybody playing super good strategically. Because Joe and Eva and Kyle and them played an amazing strategic game, but it bored the audience a lot. It's about excitement. That's what makes a good season. And so I think we want to see people making big moves right off the bat. I want to see old returning players interacting with new era players. I want to see Joe and his honor and integrity go up against someone who is willing to slit throats to win this game. That's what I want to see.
You know, I'm thinking about this a lot as I'm watching through the seasons. And I think what would make season 50 really pop, and that's in the premiere, is if, unlike New Era, starting off with let's all walk onto the beach, do a little interview, talk about who we are, and then go into an obstacle course. Mm-hmm. What if we kick it old school and we do a marooning? We do a good old-fashioned get off of a boat. Part of the challenge is seeing who can get to there first to get to the best campsite or whatever. Something to make it feel like, once again, this is a celebration of 50 seasons. Mm-hmm. Let's do a little something different. You know, I'm not this like old era apologist by any means.
Right.
But I do think if we start 50 and it feels exactly like 49, you know, that'll take. Like,
I agree.
I want it to feel at least a little nod to the old school, a little something different to make it feel like, you know what, this show, we're going to do a lot of different things here. There's going to be a lot of kind of try to take in a lot of the influence from a lot of different seasons. We cannot just start with an obstacle course. We gotta do something that makes it really, really pop and separate itself at least from the previous 9 seasons.
I agree with you, dude. I agree with you. I'm really rooting it for it to be 2 tribes instead of 3. Old era versus new era. That's kind of what I would really like to see. But also, if it is 3 tribes, maybe we see a thing where they pick their own tribes, like how they've done before.
Yeah,
in the
I
past.
love that. No, I really like the idea of starting as 2 tribes, mm-hmm. and then it splits into 3 with a schoolyard pick. I really like that. I think it gives you this old era, new era. We get 1 episode to see how those 2 kind of compete against each other. And then
you make them
drop
interact.
Drop your buffs. This is a new game, schoolyard pick'em. I like that a lot.
Yeah, and even because I understand a lot of the repetition of the new era is due to, hey, We don't have as big of a budget.
But this is season 50.
This is season 50. And you don't even have to... It's not even the repetition. Like, I'm cool if it's the same kind of, like, the obstacles. We go from 3 tribes to 2 tribes with a swap. Like, I'm fine with all of that. Just throw in some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Make it a little exciting.
I think that's the thing. Like, I like New Era Survivor. There is something to, as I'm watching through the show.
Old Era.
Like, there's just, like, a question. Like, you never quite know what's going to happen. You never quite know when the merge is going to be. You never quite know if they're going to do a merge swap if one tribe gets too low in players. Like, you never quite know. And Jeff loves to say on the On Fire podcast, what we've done in the past is not necessarily an indication of what we're going to do. Like, okay, prove it. Let's
see it.
Let's do something new, or let's do something that we haven't done in a long time, or something like that to make it feel like, oh, this is something special.
Yeah, just something unique. I think you're absolutely
just
correct,
something.
man.
Okay, is that it for this episode?
That's it, dude. I don't think they're going to disappoint us. I'm going to go on record. It's going to be the best season ever, dude.
Best season ever. We're going to be back later this week with another episode. It's going to be a special episode.
Yeah. We're not allowed to say what it is yet, but there's a guest. That's all I'll say.
It's Chase's cousin.
What?
It's Chase's cousin.
Oh, man. Thank you guys so much for listening. It's Making the Merge. Go and review us over on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Make sure you're following us on Instagram and TikTok, keeping up with all the clips. We'll see you guys at the Merge.
You're about to hear some ads that help keep the lights on here in the old studio. Thanks for listening, or don't listen. It's really up to you at this point. It's at the end of the show. I mean, you're listening to me. Hi. But here they come. I promise they're coming. Yep, here they are. Happy day.